Every little cubby all stuffed with love.
Oh, yes. It's all about Winnie the Pooh. That's our success from scratch. Brought to you by Liftique. Look years younger without facelift surgery. Go to Liftique, Liftique, Liftique.com. All right, this is our success from scratch, but it's one of those stories that doesn't necessarily have a happy ending either. Winnie the Pooh and how it all started. Usually when I do success from scratch stories, it's always a happy ending. The company has done great. It's an extraordinary success. Out of nothing came this great company or great product or great service. Well, the story behind Winnie the Pooh is really interesting. And there is a new film that is coming out. And I saw the trailers, and it looks really good. Well, I love period pieces anyway. This takes place in the 20s and the 30s. And I'm sure a lot of you know who the author is of Winnie the Pooh, A.A. Milne or Milne. And it's all about Winnie the Pooh, the stuffed animal, and other stuffed animals, part of the Winnie the Pooh stories, that inspired this magical world of Pooh Bear. And almost from the beginning, A.A. Milne writes this, and he writes about his son, Christopher Robin, is his son. And Pooh explodes and becomes an international sensation. And some of the most valuable characters of all time. Remember the lawsuit that happened between the Milne estate and Disney? Because Winnie the Pooh is a big Disney issue. As you know, they've had Winnie the Pooh, that character around not only the films, but also it's one of the characters at Disneyland. Well, there was a nice lawsuit, and Disney settled with the estate. So what ended up happening, these huge successes, caused a lot of tensions in the Milne family and exposed Christopher Robin to an overwhelming level of fame. He became internationally known, and it plagued him virtually his whole life. And on top of that, Dad, A.A. Milne, who wrote it, came to totally resent Winnie the Pooh. Why? Because he wrote a lot of other books, a lot of serious books, and these stories totally overshadowed what he did. There is a book that has been written by a British biographer, Anne Thwaite, that talks about the history and how all of this came to be, and it's called Goodbye, Christopher Robin, A.A. Milne. Do I have that pronounced correctly, by the way, Milne? A.A. Milne and the Make of Winnie the Pooh. The film is based on this biography. And the biography even features interviews with the real Christopher Robin and relies on a wealth of archival information that's at the University of Austin, strangely enough. And an updated version of the book is on sale now. And Thwaite tells People magazine, the biographer, it was a perfect subject for me. Father-child, mother-child relationships, which happen to be a favorite topic of hers. And the relationship of Milne and Christopher Robin, that's at the heart of the book and this film. So, over the course of his life, Milne wrote 7 novels, 5 nonfiction books, 34 plays, in addition to so many short stories and magazine articles. Did you know that? I didn't until I started researching this story. So Milne is a serious author, and all he has going for him is everybody knows about Winnie the Pooh. A couple of things about him that are fascinating. He was a staunch pacifist and at the same time served in both World War I and World War II and was injured at the Battle of the Somme. And according to Thwaite, the biographer, it's a miracle the books even exist because both Milne and the illustrator, E.H. Shepard, were young officers at the Somme, and very few people survived the Battle of the Somme. Well, after the war, Milne suffered from a bunch of post-traumatic stress, which people do. I don't know if you've seen if you've seen any of those documentaries on what happened after World War I. It was just insane what these guys went through. And so he relocated his family. So he went outside of London to live to a quiet cottage near the East Sussex woodlands. That forest that surrounded his house became the 100-acre wood. He took it all out of his life, what he was experiencing. So now you have this young boy, Christopher Robin, and mom and dad, Milne and his wife, Dorothy. Very complicated relationship. Some people, what he said later on in an interview, we're talking about Christopher Robin. Some people are good with children, others are not. It's a gift. You either have it or you don't. My father did not have it. His mom also was very distant. Most of Robin's early upbringing was in the hands of their nanny. The parents didn't even raise him. And what mom did do is dress him very oddly, preferring what she described as curious clothes, which Robin later described as making him look girlish. And he had golden tresses. I mean, pretty bizarre. All right, let me take a break, and I'm going to come back and finish this up based on the fact there's a new movie, The Success from Scratch, and it's not so much success because at the same time there is a lot of grief revolving around the publication, the writing of the Winnie the Pooh books.